Mr. Polyev, crime is a serious issue, and you recently held a Stop the Crime rally.
Yes.
And for last 5 years, we covered so much of crime incidents every day, multiple incidents, car thefts to home invasions. And in last 10 days, there was more than six deaths inside the house shooting, and those people we lost.
Six deaths? Where?
In GTA. And the businessmen are targeted. Earlier it was extortions, now it's a shootout. And you recently announced the new 3 strikes. You are out of law. If you are serious in the crime, my questions here, because most of the police associations, most of the law enforcement agencies are endorsing you. And if you're serious in stopping the crime, the question is, why can't we punish the criminals on the first conviction? Why can't we have the laws like Dubai or a US? And why can't we have the self-protection laws here in Canada? Thank you.
Thank you. Good question. And you're right. It has been absolute crime and chaos in the GTA after the lost Liberal decade. And we cannot trust the same Liberals who caused the problem to fix it. We need a new Conservative government that will lock up the criminals and stop the crime for a change. Now, your question was, why not 1 strike instead of 3 strikes? Well, there will be mandatory jail time again for serious crimes, even on the first offense. So I've said that we will have mandatory life sentences for anyone caught selling more than 40 milligrams of fentanyl, engaged in human trafficking, or gun smuggling. Violent offenses will once again have mandatory prison times and of over 10 years. But what I'm also proposing is that anyone with 3 convictions for serious offenses will get a mandatory prison sentence of 10 years to life, and that they will only ever be released after that 10 years if they prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're no longer a risk. And the only way they can do that is through impeccable behavior, consistent, clean drug tests, and by learning an employable skill in prison that shows they'll be able to get a job and contribute to society. If they don't do those things, a 3-time offender will literally never get out of prison. And so this will be the biggest crackdown on crime in Canadian history. We will be locking up the criminals for good, and your community, Nitin, will be safe once again for a change. It's that the people that are in and out of jail already are going to stay there. See, what's happening, we don't have a lot of criminals in Canada. That's the good news. The bad news is they're very productive. It's the same tiny group that go in and out of the revolving door. We have to reserve them a room anyway because we know they're coming back. In Vancouver Vancouver last year, they arrested the same 40 offenders 6,000 times. So each offender was arrested 150 times in 1 year. Those people basically have a reserved room in the prison. It's just that they keep getting released to reoffend. There's one guy in Penticton, his name is Levi. You can ask the police about him there. He does so much crime that when he's out of prison, the crime rate for the entire city goes up. That guy is in and out of jail constantly. The people that are shooting up our streets, they're in and out of jail constantly. So they're already reserved a room. What I'm saying is, get rid of the revolving door and replace it with an iron gate so that they don't get out. You know, when Prime Minister Harper was in office, we passed major crackdown on crime. And the Liberals said, you're going to have to build these mega prisons to accommodate all the criminals. You know what happened? Not only did crime go down by 25%, incarcerations went down. Because what we did is lock up the rampant offenders who were going to be in and out anyway. For them, it's like the Hotel California. They check out, but they never leave. And then the rest of them were scared that there'd be consequences. There is no fear among criminals today. Police officers tell me that criminals don't even bother trying to avoid getting caught. They go in and rob liquor stores without a mask on, and they walk slowly out the door because they know there will be no consequences even if they are caught. As soon as there are consequences, the softer, less habitual criminals, they'll find something else to do because they'll know it's not worth losing 10 years of their life behind bars. And then the rampant offenders, they will be locked up for good where they belong. That is how we're going to stop the crime. Look, the choice is this. After the lost Liberal decade of rampaging crime in our communities, are you going to give them a fourth Liberal term? Or is it time for a change to put law-abiding Canadians first with a new Conservative government? By the way, I gather that Mark Carney is now talking about crime. This after Liberals unleashed a massive crime spree in our country with their catch and release criminal justice policy. Catch and release, C-75, allows repeat offenders out of jail within minutes of their latest arrests. House arrest under C-5, another law still in place the Liberals brought in. Who Mr. Carney said yesterday when he was asked about my 3 strikes you're out policy, he said, well, he thinks that he doesn't like the baseball analogy, but he does think that criminals should face the full force of the law. The problem is the Liberal laws have no force. And that's the reason why we have so much crime. Liberal laws allow the offenders to be out 60 or 70 times in a row. Don't be fooled by whatever Mike Carney promises today. He had the public safety minister who allowed Paul Bernardo out of a maximum security penitentiary is now Mark Carney's Liberal chief of staff. David Lametti, the Liberal justice minister who kept in catch and release bail and house arrest for rampant offenders, is now a paid advisor of Mark Carney. This electing the same Liberals for a 4th time is not going to change what they do on crime. If you want a real change on crime, what you need is a new government, a Conservative government that will lock up criminals with a 3 strikes you're out law, bring jail and not bail, ban the hard drugs, close the drug dens, give 50,000 deserving people the treatment and recovery